Ni hao, Wajiao, CJ, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Happy News, etc. Learning Mandarin. Just like the last episodes, we're going to pick up where we left off. It was really nice to wake up this morning to a comment about what we're doing here and a little bit of feedback. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. And thanks again for being here. Comprehensive practice. Okay. 7 bowls of noodles costs 90 yuan. 7.
7
And then bowls. I believe is 1.
碗
Noodles was 面
面条
Costs 90. 90
90块
costs. Let's try it.
7碗面条90块。
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 2个包子和3个饺子10块。
10
2个包子和3个饺子10块。
How much are steam stuffed bun and a cup of soy milk? I think it's 包子
包子
一个包子和 a cup 和一杯
豆浆
一杯豆浆
多少钱？
一个包子和一杯豆浆多少钱？
一个包子和一杯豆浆多少钱？一个包子和一杯豆浆多少钱？ One more time.
一个包子和一杯豆浆多少钱？
和一杯豆浆多少钱？和一杯豆浆多少钱？ How much are 8 dumplings? 8 is 北 or 八 dumplings, 8 dumplings. Dumplings. This is weird. Where's the how much? Okay, we already have it. Oh, it's duo shao xian. I forgot how to spell it. Duo shao like that, maybe.
8个饺子多少钱？
Nice, I got it. 八个饺子多少钱
6个包子36块。
They said 三十六
6个包子36块。
36三十六6个包子36块6个包子36块 What is porridge? What is? So what is it? Would it be 面条是什么? No. 粥是什么?
粥是什么?
粥是什么? A cup of soy milk costs 8 yuan. Okay, so it's a cup. 一杯, right? That's a cup. 一杯. Soy milk was 豆浆. And then 八 or 8. And then 块. 一杯豆浆8块.
一杯豆浆8块。
A cup of soy milk costs 8 yuan.
酒
酒
9面条
面条 I believe that was noodles.
面条汤快汤
Tang is soup. Complete the chat using all of the words.
10个饺子90块。
10个饺子90块. It's saying that a dumplings costs 90. I think 90.
10个饺子多少钱？
What is the
多饺子
Oh, we have to start with
10
excuse
请
me.
问10个饺多少
Let's try
钱？
that. Excuse me.
请
How
问
much do the
10个
dumplings
饺子
cost?
多少钱？
How much are 10 dumplings? I see. That's what we asked for, 10 dumplings. Would your singular friend like deep-fried dough sticks? 你的朋友要 blank 吗？油条
你的朋友要油条吗？
油条吗？你的朋友要油条吗？ I'm not gonna lie, I have a vocabulary list that I use at the same time, or I would be seriously struggling with these. 3 dumplings. I remember this one. It's Jew. J-I-U. 9块。
3个饺子9块。
3个饺子9块。Tap the matching pairs.
多少？7包子油条
油条
什么
什么
7多少7
Chi. The soup costs 65 yuan. Chiwan, the bowl of soup. Bowl, and then we just need soup. Tang.
这碗汤65块。
2 bowls of rice costs 18 yen. So liang wan.
碗
Mi fan
米饭
18. Shiba
18块
2碗米饭18块。
2碗米饭18块。
18块。
请问你们要什么？
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 What the learners want.
请问你们要什么？
What would you like? Liu.
6
Ah, we did well. And we're moving on. 31-day streak. You've extended your streak. Getting coins. Teacher talk. It's time to listen.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Teacher Talk. 我是 Maggie.
And I'm Chris. Have you ever noticed that in Chinese you can simply ask the question, 这是什么? What is this? And then follow it up with anything. The answer could be 这是饺子. These are dumplings. Without mentioning how many. It could be 1 饺子 on the plate, or it could be 1,000. And you could never know from just hearing these two sentences. You can only know if you're there in person looking at them.
It's quite different from English, right? Because in English, you need to add plurals and you should ask, what are these? And these are dumplings if they are 1,000 dumplings in that plate. But in Chinese, it's simpler.
Yeah, so today we're diving back into the land of singular plural, specifically how Chinese doesn't really have much in the way of singular and plural. This time we're focusing on nouns, and we'll specifically be avoiding the personal pronouns. We already talked about men, like 我们, 他们 for we or they, and how occupations can become plural. But for all other nouns, they don't change at all. Singular, plural, we just have no idea how many there are.
Yeah, right. So, for example, if you want to talk about one or many of something, you should use the structure, a number, plus measure words, plus the noun. But the noun itself, it never changes form. So, for example, if I say I want a cup of coffee, then I should say 我要一杯咖啡。我要一杯咖啡。But if I say I want 10 cups of coffee, then the Chinese would be 我要10杯咖啡。我要10杯咖啡。
Yeah, so you know how many from the number, but both the measure word and the noun coffee stay exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like that.
And in Chinese, demonstrative pronouns, they don't change for singular or plural as well.
Yeah, so you might call these pointing words if you're not up on your English grammar, like Maggie. These words like this, that, these, those. In English, we have singular and plural clearly marked, but in Chinese, they aren't marked. Just two.
Yeah, so typically it's just the 这 and 那, so this and that. So if I ask 那是什么, then I might be pointing at one or many things. We don't know.
Okay.
But in English, you'd have to distinguish between what is that or what are those. In Chinese, it's just 那, and it doesn't change.
Yes, and I guess the answer to the question 那是什么? What is that? Will make it clearer to understand that there's no singular or plural forms of pronoun because the answer can be 那是3杯可乐. 那是3杯可乐. Those are 3 cups of Coke, but literally that are 3 cups of Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's no word, there's no different plural word there. Na stays the same, no matter how much you're talking about. And now, I hope you're ready to get really deep. We're about to go to outer space and talk about the nature of being, I think. One thing that is interesting about Chinese nouns is they also don't change in any form when you're talking about a single thing or just the concept of the thing. I don't know if that makes sense, so maybe an example.
So in Chinese, I can ask, 你要蛋糕吗? 你要蛋糕吗? Do you want cake?
Yeah, so in English, of course, we can say the exact same thing. But, if you were talking about cake conceptually and said something like, do you like cake? That's not a specific cake. That's just cake as the ideal. But you might say, do you want some cake? Do you want a cake? Do you want a piece of cake? But in Chinese, this 蛋糕 could be any of those things. Is that correct? My understanding there?
Yeah, I totally agree. And as a natural response to that question, it can be 我不要蛋糕, 我要面包. 我不要蛋糕, 我要面包. I don't want cake, I want bread.
Yeah, so you'll notice here that 蛋糕 and 面包, they don't really show if you're talking about like specific cake or conceptual. You know, my instinct, because there are no markers, would be just kind of, we are talking about theoretical cake and bread, and there's no cake in front of us, but it could be in front of us. And I think that's one of the interesting things about Chinese is like how contextual it is you need to see what's happening, and then you can know what the sentence really means.
Okay, yeah. And here's another example. So if I ask, 那是什么? So that's the key question in our teacher talk. 那是什么? What is that? And the answer can be 那是饺子. That's dumplings. 那是饺子. So we are still talking about the concept of 饺子. So we are naming that thing is 饺子.
Yeah, but in English you'd have to pick. That's a dumpling or those are dumplings.
I see.
Right. In Chinese, 饺子 covers all of those possibilities. And if you want to specify quantity, you can add a measure word, you can add the number plus measure word structure before the noun, but it isn't required. It's not necessary.
Well, I hope that enlightens you to the nature of nouns in Chinese. One of my favorite things about the time I have spent in China has been listening to other foreigners like myself put S's on the end of Chinese words because they're so uncomfortable.
Nice.
So people will say stuff like, do you want to eat some jiaozes? Or, you know, yeah, do you want to go to the hutongs? Right? Like, just, we can't handle it. We want people to know if it's singular or plural, so we just put S's on the end of Chinese.
Okay. So it's kind of it's a new language.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, I don't tell other Chinese people. It's a secret. We're only doing it when there's no Chinese people around.
Okay, so that's all for this teacher talk. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Right, until the next one.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Which right now, moving on. Yes, it can. Moving on, learning words.
Hi, everyone. You're listening to Teacher Talk. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Chris. We are back with another small but important topic. How do you say the number 2?
Well, actually, in Chinese, we have 2 words for the number 2, but those 2 words are not interchangeable. They each have their own specific use, and today we'll break down when to use each one.
Okay, so first, these are the 2 ways to say 2.
That's 二 and 两, and let's start with 两.
This one is used when you're counting real things, specifically if there's a measure word after it. So this is the concrete 2 of something.
Right, so when you use 两, it's always followed by a measure word. So just 两 plus a measure word. For example, I want to have 2个包子. That's 2 steamed buns. Or there are 2个人 over there. That's 2 people. Or I had 2杯咖啡, 2 cups of coffee this morning. Or if something's really cheap and the price is just 2块.
So when you're talking about these actual quantities of things, 2 is going to be the one you want to use.
Yeah, but when you are counting in a general sense or referring to specific numbers, you need to use the other word 二.
This could be phone numbers, room numbers.
Thanks for being here, by the way.
Bus routes or subway routes. You're going to use 二 for all of these.
Yeah, like if you are giving others your phone number, for example, it's 8322, then you need to say 8322.
Interesting.
So 二 should be used here. Or when you are talking about subway lines, that's line 2, 2号线, we would say. Or 213路, that's route 213. If your room number is 2419, then it's 2419. So in all those situations, R should be used.
Arsu.
And also, you use R when you're talking about things like years, months, and numbers larger than 2 in any case. At least that is true for the numbers of 3 through 199. And I don't think we need to worry you with the very large numbers today.
Yeah, so for instance, if I want to say 20, then it should be 20. So 20. If it's 72, then it would be 72. 72.
Yeah. So this stays true even when you're counting real things. The word liang is unique to when you're using just the number 2, but Maggie will give a few examples of counting real things above 2.
Yeah, if I want to have 12 bottles of Coke, then I should say 12瓶可乐. 12瓶可乐. So before the measure word
right?
瓶, the number is 12. You still use R here, not 两. Or if at a cafe, 一杯咖啡32块. 一杯咖啡32块. A cup of coffee costs 32块. Here's the same situation. 32 is a whole number, so R should still be used. And 32块.
Okay, yeah, so in summary, you use liang when you're talking about a specific quantity of something with a measure word, and specifically that number 2. And then R gets used all the rest of the times for counting, phone numbers, subway lines, years, and any number above 2 and below 200 that has a 2 in that number.
Yeah, and for every other number in Chinese, there's just one word. It's only 2, which has 2 words in Chinese.
Yeah, that is good news. This isn't going to happen for, 3 and 4 and 5. Just stick with the 1.
Yes, it's just 2.
Okay, well, we will see you next time.
Yeah, that's all for this one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. And that's all for us as well. That was, let's finish. You are at a Chinese breakfast shop and you want to buy 2 steam stuffed buns. You tell the owner you want liang. I liked that. I liked this episode, and I liked this lesson. I feel like I'm getting more confident with the language. It doesn't look like we have anyone out there anymore. I wish I knew how I can increase the entertainment value of this. I'm sorry if it's boring, but I really appreciate it if you're sticking with me through this, and if you're learning, if you're out there and you're learning with me, I would love to hear it. I appreciate all the feedback and the occasional chat comment that we get. I hope one day that I can interact with the audience in Mandarin. That's the goal for this year, is to have a couple conversations like that. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Find some time to smile. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. 我叫CJ 再见. Cheers, everyone.